I mean, look, they don't call him Slick Willie for nothing, right? A trick that I learned from Bill Clinton that has worked for me a lot, and it'll work for you as well. So there are times in our lives where, unfortunately, we're put in a position where we have to defend ourselves. You know, someone's wronged us in some sort of way, and we have to, write an email, write a letter, whatever the case, and, you're going to have to reference somebody or refer to somebody. I wasn't old enough to vote, but I was a young teenager, and I still, however, do remember this pretty well. So in the 1992 presidential debate, there was the current sitting president, George H.W. Bush, the father, and then there was Bill Clinton, who was at the time the governor of Arkansas, and then there was the businessman Ross Perot. So during that debate, what happened was Bill Clinton constantly referred to George Bush as Mr. Bush. He actually did not refer to him as President Bush. He caught some flack for that, right? That's kind of political, and this actually is not about the politics of it. But in a lot of ways, it's really kind of brilliant. So what's happening here is there's a basic psychology where, okay, so again, someone has wronged you, and that's the whole idea. I mean, obviously this doesn't work when you want to flatter somebody, but somebody has wronged you, and you need to rectify that, okay? And that happens from time to time. You can't lower their role or status, but by stripping them of their title, what you're doing is you're actually elevating yourself, and by elevating yourself, you're making a more level playing field. You really are, trust me on this one, it really does work. So for example, if you are referencing a doctor, don't call them Dr. Smith, call them Mr. or Miss Smith. Sometimes if, there's some issue, if you're either an undergrad or a graduate student, please, I'm really being sincere about this. If there's an issue that you have with the president of the university, don't reference them as President so-and-so, reference them as Mr. or Miss, really, even if it's one of your professors, And by the way, for those of you who've been my student, either undergrad or grad, have I ever played that Professor GOLZARI game? No, never. Not once, ever, after all these years. I don't play that game, so at least when it comes to this, I don't have that coming to me. But, don't call them Professor Jones, or don't reference and refer to them as Professor Jones. Call them Mr. or Miss Jones. It really does make a difference, and it really does matter. I mean, look, they don't call him Slick Willie for nothing, right? I don't really care where you fall on the political spectrum. I've been on both sides of the political aisle, by the way, but this really does work. And the next time that someone wrongs you in some sort of way, and the next time you have to defend yourself against someone or a group of people that have title, strip away their title, and again, you're making a more level playing field, and this really does work. It's worked for me from time to time. It'll continue to work for me, and it will absolutely work for you as well. So send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of one of my books. Your choice, either my book on presentation skills or business writing skills.